You think you know a city until you walk it in someone else's shoes. There once was a young boy who complained about his city every single day. This city is so boring, he'd sigh. The people are rude. Nothing ever changes. His world was a small triangle, mapped only by the streets, connecting his home, his school, and his favorite fast food shop. He saw the same buildings, the same faces, and the same gray sidewalks, and he was convinced there was nothing more to see. One afternoon, his grandfather, who had been listening quietly, finally spoke. A gentle smile played on his lips as he said, "You judge quickly for someone who has only walked in his own shoes." The old man then led the boy to a dusty wooden chest in the corner of the room. He lifted the heavy lid, revealing several pairs of well-worn shoes, each telling a silent story of its own. "Try these," the grandfather offered. "Walk where they would walk. See what they would see." The boy, intrigued despite himself, reached in and picked up the first pair. Soft, simple, white shoes. They belonged to a hospital nurse. The next morning, he put them on. His journey began before the sun had even risen, starting at a distant bus stop where the air was cold and still. He rode the bus with the city's early risers and walked through the imposing doors of the main hospital. He didn't go inside, but instead sat on a bench just outside the entrance. He watched as people arrived, their faces etched with worry and fear. He saw tired families clutching each other's hands and elderly patients moving slowly, leaning on loved ones for support. He started to imagine what it must be like to work here, to spend your day holding a stranger's shaking hand, to deliver heavy, life-altering news, and still find the strength to be kind, to offer a comforting word, to be a beacon of calm in a storm of emotion. He imagined the immense weight of that responsibility, and for the first time, he felt a flicker of something other than his own boredom. Next, the boy chose a pair of battered sneakers, their soles worn thin and the laces frayed. These belonged to a delivery worker. He put them on and began to follow a route that snaked through parts of the city he never knew existed. He left the main roads and ventured into narrow, winding alleys, the kind that were hidden between tall buildings. He climbed endless flights of stairs in old apartment blocks, imagining the strain of carrying heavy bags up each one. He noticed the small, often overlooked details. The little doors tucked away in basements, the windows of elderly people living alone, their faces occasionally peering out. He imagined the loneliness some of them must feel. Then he pictured the delivery worker arriving, perhaps with a package or a warm meal. He realized how a single, genuine smile at a doorway, a simple thank you, could be the brightest moment in someone's long, quiet day. It wasn't just about dropping off a package. It was a human connection however brief. Then, he slipped his feet into a pair of thick, heavy-duty boots. These were from a street cleaner. His walk began when the city was still cloaked in darkness, when most of its residents were fast asleep. He moved through the deserted streets, which were littered with the remnants of the night before. Discarded wrappers, empty cups, and forgotten newspapers. From this perspective, the city didn't seem rude or aggressive. It felt careless, like a giant child who had played with its toys and then dropped them everywhere, expecting someone else to clean up the mess. He saw the quiet, diligent work it took to make the city clean and presentable before everyone woke up. He realized that the pristine streets he walked on his way to school didn't just happen by themselves. They were the result of someone's hard work in the lonely, pre-dawn hours. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the streets, the boy finally returned home. His feet were sore, his body was tired, but his mind was unusually quiet and full. His grandfather was waiting for him. "So," the old man asked gently, his eyes twinkling, "how is your boring, rude city now?" The boy looked down at his own worn-out sneakers, then back at his grandfather. He spoke softly, his voice filled with a new understanding. "It's still the same city, but I was wrong. Now I see how many tired, gentle, hard-working people are holding it all together." Empathy is not about learning big, complicated words or reading profound books. It is about learning to walk, just for one day, in someone else's shoes. The next morning, the boy put on his own shoes, but as he stepped outside, something had changed within him. He walked differently. He slowed down to hold a door open for a mother with a stroller. He made eye contact and said thank you to the bus driver. He really looked at the faces of the people passing by, seeing not just a crowd, but a collection of individual stories of struggles and quiet triumphs. The city hadn't changed, but he had. And that made all the difference. If you enjoyed this story, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Learn English with stories. For more content just like this. Thank you for watching.